Ladies and gentlemen, the time has finally arrived. It is time to power rank every single, wait, not power. This entire thing is, we're going to rank every single pre-timeskip One Piece arc. Let's go. Yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. Woo! I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time. Looking forward to power ranking. I said power ranking again. Ranking every time skip arc, pre-time skip arc in One Piece. I have a lot of hot takes, fiery opinions, and we're not just gonna rank them either. Every time we rank an arc, I will be going through down memory road and picking my favorite moment from the arc and sort of reacting to my original reaction, what I thought of each moment. Now, I have already mixed up all of the arcs. They are going to be in random order. This is our pre-time skip rankings. We have an upside down S. It's still upside down. I forgot to change it. We have a thumbs up, which just means it's good. It's a good arc. A little bit lower than that, we have okay. And then, hang on, stop the music. It says, while I do not believe that this is a bad arc by any means, in contrast to others, it is simply not as memorable. Oda makes use of every piece of the world that he creates. Therefore, these are still substantial and inherently pertain to those placed above. The rationale behind deeming a One Piece arc bad while others peak is simply not substantial for that very reason. And the fact that every character and setting included is important is completely irrevocable. I will be ranking each tier in order. The S tier will be in order of best to worst. The thumbs up tier will be in order from best to worst, etc. With that being said, let me take a sip from my One Piece glass. Who wants to drum roll so we know what's first? Can you guys even hear me doing this? Okay, so some of these I did like type and print out, but I ran out of printer ink. So some I did by hand. First is Baratie. This is already a tough one. I feel like a lot of these are going to be tough. Not only because I really enjoyed it, but it's already going to be tough sort of figuring out where it goes in each order. Introduced one of my most polarizing characters to me personally, which is Sanji. It's like that child that you just have to love, Sanji. Baratie is one of the smaller, best settings in all of One Piece. Like, it does so much with so little that it has to offer, because it's literally just one sea restaurant, right? But you get so many good moments at Baratie. Zoro versus Mihawk, like a lot of chat's already saying. Luffy gets his first really big fight. You could argue that his first really big fight is in Sword Village against Kuro, which it kind of is, but like Krieg was the first one that I was like, oh, he might lose. It was the first time I cried at One Piece. It wasn't because Sanji just changed jobs. There's more to it than that. And I think Baratie is one of those arcs that has genuinely gotten better over time as I've watched more of One Piece. Yeah, the Sanji Zeph backstory, overall, a really fantastic arc. I would say the pacing is pretty much fine. And Baratie, again, I'm ranking every category, so it's a little bit hard, but I'm going to tentatively put Baratie somewhere near the bottom of S. So with that being said, let's find my favorite moment in Baratie, and I actually already know it. I'm not gonna cry. Doesn't need to. See you later. Oh, dude. Catch a cold. Oh, no, Zeph! Whiskey Peak. Now, despite its name, Whiskey Peak is nowhere near Peak. I remember Whiskey Peak being where you hear about Crocodile for the first time. Zoro V100 was kind of cool. It had that one agent, the girl that laughs and she can change her weight. Can I say, that devil fruit where you can change your weight is one of the most busted in the show, and she's trash with it. Whiskey Peak, its redemption is the fact that it doesn't overstay its welcome, because it's only like what is it, 4 or 5 episodes? Like, it's not long at all. But genuinely, it's so just not that memorable aside from Zoro fighting everybody. We even got Zoro and Luffy fighting each other because Luffy thought Zoro like turned evil. Like, brother. One Piece has some silly, goofy moments. That was about as far as it goes. It had Igadam's death, yeah, which is kind of a big moment, but in retrospect, Whiskey Peak, I went down here. I'll put it at the top. Put it at the top. Chopper has perished. Now, the thing is, can I find a favorite moment from Whiskey Peak? Favorite moment from Whiskey Peak. I had a slight feeling that they would see the ship in the like background and just blow up. El Clasico. Oh my god, that was sitcom level timing, bro. We have. Okay, dude. What? Why do we get Whiskey Peak and Syrup Village back to back? Syrup Village. Let's break this down, chat. Let's not have any knee-jerk reactions. I know people hear Syrup Village and they like physically recoil. Syrup Village isn't as bad as you remember. Syrup Village, we get introduced to Usopp. Captain Kuro is actually a cool villain. He actually is. He's intimidating. In retrospect, the fight with Luffy versus Don Krieg was better, but Kuro's a cooler villain. He's very slick. He's manipulative. He has one of the longest cons of all time, Going Merry introduction. And Luffy versus Kuro was a really cool fight. When Luffy stretches and he turns and Kuro's just standing on his arm, is one of the coolest villain moments in the show. But I think, and it's tough because it's so early on that the stakes aren't as high yet. It has moments and impact better than Whiskey Peak. So for that reason, I'll put it halfway through okay. Also, for retrospect, or like for clarification, whenever I'm ranking them, if it fills up a category, which it will, it'll go like top left to bottom right, basically. Does that make sense? Now, a favorite moment for Syrup Village. Let's go! Look at Luffy's face! He pogged! He pog champed, bro! Alabasta. Okay, now this is gonna mix things up. I already see somebody saying overrated. I feel like that's gonna be a lot of the arcs is what a lot of people are gonna say. The first arc in One Piece where I really started to like get stupid into it was Baratie. But I think Alabasta sort of like solidified it. You know what I mean? Somebody said a bit too long. How long is Alabasta? Because I thought in retrospect, it's not actually as long as I remember. Well, technically Alabasta contains Drum Island, Little Garden, Whiskey Peak. So it's like 4 islands in one. So it's actually not that long. Alabasta was really good. So I'm only ranking this not off of the saga, but off of literally them getting to Alabasta and all of that, because Whiskey Peak and Drum Island are separate. And if I'm just ranking Alabasta by itself, it's really, really good. All the fights delivered. Like, I don't think there was a single fight that I disliked. Zoro versus Mr. One, gas. Usopp and Chopper versus Miss Merry Christmas and I think it's Mr. Four, solid. Luffy versus Crocodile. We got like 3 fights between Luffy and Crocodile. And then the stakes were just insanely high. Crocodile was going to literally just take over the entire country. I guess that was kind of like Kuro, but on crack. We get introduced to Bon Clay, the entire character of Crocodile, Robin joining the crew. It was a lot. I know some people do think it's overrated. I personally can't find many issues with Alabasta. I think the only argument that you could make is that maybe it is a little drawn out, but barely. I better not see any more Vivi slander. Somebody slandered Vivi the other day, and I was like, bro, they're like, what does Vivi do? I'm like, bro, she was like undercover for years trying to like figure out the base of operations and what was going on. There was not a single weak character. Cobra as a leader is a Giga Chad leader. He's a good leader. He's for the people. Like, that whole kingdom is stand up. Alabasta is better than Baratie. But where does it go? I'm going to tentatively put it right. Gonna save room at the very top just in case. It is just about there. That being said, favorite moment from Alabasta. What? I love how I'm like, oh, she's going to join the crew. She goes, I'm here to say goodbye. Jack, what? You don't want to abandon your kingdom? Cringe. Who said Elon Musk-ass idea? Ban. Even Chopper's little arm, bro. Arc number 5. Boom. I was gonna write Archipelago, but it didn't fit. Sabaody sort of being the beginning of the Summit War saga. Everybody is spamming S's already. But guys, let's sit here and think about it for a second. Let's not knee-jerk S reaction, okay? Everybody's spamming S's. what did Sabaody have realistically? Introducing the entire worst generation, Kizaru coming in and destroying stuff, the pacifistas coming in and destroying stuff, Luffy thinking he was losing his entire crew. Yeah, Sabaody is an S tier arc. Luffy talking to Rayleigh, getting the opportunity to know everything he needed to know, but saying no. Great pacing. It didn't waste its time with everything. The greatest character to ever exist, Duval, was introduced. Luffy hitting the celestial dragon. I'm glazing, but there's a lot of glaze to go around, brother, man. Every arc that goes in S tier is one that I can't think of many downsides. And Sabaody, I don't think has a single one. I'm actually going to put Sabaody right above Alabasta. Technically it's above. It's just the pacing is perfect. Everything is happening. It utilizes everything we've learned about One Piece so far in a very timely manner. It's time for my moment of the arc. Bro, the juking. That is a big turning point. Punched him back to the manga for real. Bro was in an impact frame for like multiple seconds. That's when you know you got beat, bro. Not funny, dude. Next arc. What do we think it's gonna be? It could be anything. It could be anything. Impel Down. Coming immediately following Amazon Lily. Immediately followed by Marineford. Impel Down is another very well paced arc. It doesn't waste its time in the slightest. I would say it's a tad longer than it needed to be. That, and it's sandwiched by the like checking in on the rest of the crew episodes, which I liked the checking in on the crew episodes, but there were honestly too many and they took too long sometimes. That being said, Impel Down is still a very good arc. All the fights, Luffy literally loses. Every time Luffy loses and he's like pushed to the edge, it's a really good those are good stakes basically. He meets Blackbeard, well, like officially meets Blackbeard. I think the best part of Impel Down though is the setting. It's just like the layers of hell, the questioning of what could come next on each floor, the mystery of the floors that don't even exist, the return of Crocodile, the introduction of Jinbei. I said at the very beginning of this that has like peak pacing. It could maybe be like 5 or 6 episodes shorter. It really could be, but it's still probably one of the best settings in the entire show thus far. And it has good bonding moments between Luffy, Bon Clay, Buggy, and Mr. 3 too. I'm going to put Impel Down right above Baratier. Both are such solid settings in the show. Impel Down does things a little bit better. Favorite moment in Impel Down. I know you guys would say the Bon Clay moment, but there was one moment in particular that I freaked out even harder at. I can't.
Hi, Jack. Can you please stop talking about One Piece? I haven't watched it yet, and am planning on doing so eventually. So I don't want to be spoiled of anything whilst watching your stream. Can you postpone this tier list because I have her eye? And instead do some real content that I could enjoy.
Yeah, sure, man. No, shut the fuck up in there! W moments. Oh man, this one's gonna get some people on me. Skypiea! Now Skypiea is actually the only arc in One Piece that I've actually done my video essay on. I think Skypiea, while it has its ups and its downs, I think it catches too much flack. I would say its biggest weakness by far is the pacing. The games, whenever everybody's just like fighting in the jungle, those episodes drag on way too long. The basically dead center of the arc is just way too meaty for no reason. Incredible setting, really cool setting. It's a little disconnected from the rest of the world, so you feel kind of far away from everything that's happening at the time, but it also has one of the best backstories in the show. Nolan and Kagura, and sort of like the incredible tragedy of Noland is kind of like hard to put down, you know? I feel like Skypiea is the sheer like pinnacle of how crazy One Piece is. It's like this dude said that this island existed and he got so unlucky that it was literally like a Minecraft creative mode lifted into the sky, man. Luffy rings the bell at the end of the arc. Incredible. Him like seeing like what's it Luffy in the sky because of like all the stories and whatnot. Inaru is an awesome villain. He's insanely OP. Literally just got unlucky that Luffy countered him. I think my only criticism is two things. One, like I said, the pacing in the middle. And two, that Angel's dad, the old man, should have died. The fake out deaths, like somebody just said, is so annoying. I'm sick of people dying and not dying. Those are pretty much the two only things that I had a problem with. Even Chopper got his own fight that he won. I think Skypiea catches too much flack. I really do. It is going at middle of thumbs up. Favorite moment from Skypiea. The Nolan and Kagura backstory was really solid, but it wasn't one specific moment that I really liked. It was kind of just all of it. Actually, I think I have two, but I don't know where the other is. You guys know whenever Chopper was like, I will be a man, and then he lights on fire? W. It won't conduct. He's a goddamn rubber man. His face! What the Bro, why did they build it up like that too? They literally did like teaser shots of his face. Dude, there were also some comments that were like, is Jack even paying attention? He should have known as soon as Inaru was introduced that he wouldn't have been able to do anything against Luffy. I'm like, brother. In retrospect, yes. But you failed to consider the fact that I'm stupid. Charlie, would you like to do the honors of the next one? Who are you people? The next arc is... Wow. How apropos. Jaya is very short, and that's actually a pro for it. It actually, like I said, it's anytime an arc is a very short sort of section, it kind of works in its favor. I would say Jaya and Skypiea are inherently connected. It has really good moments, and I feel like another thing, like as time goes on, is Jaya is one of those arcs that ages better and better. We meet Blackbeard without even knowing it until the end of Jaya. My favorite panel in the scene, of Blackbeard saying a man's dreams never end. Getting to see Kuma and Doflamingo for the first time. Getting to see Whitebeard for the first time. 151 is just like bat balls to the wall crazy. Like they threw everything out there. Oda blew his entire load in episode 151, like actually. And it also builds up Skypiea, builds up just everything for the rest of the show, quite frankly. I think it's an S tier, especially as time goes on. I actually do. I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna move Impel Down up one section and put Jaya right above Baratier. So Impel Down is now one higher and Jaya is right. The only downside of Jaya is them chasing the parrots in the jungle, but that doesn't last that long, so it's not a big deal. Favorite moment of Jaya is easy. Damn, I love those side shots they do. W frame. Next arc. Boom. I'm trying to actually think about this because I actually don't know where I'm gonna put it. I genuinely have no idea. Okay, let's break down Long Ring Long Land. Unfortunately, right before a really good arc, it's really lighthearted and nice, and it's like really cute moments with all of the crew. I would say, yeah, it's a little too long. This is the type of arc where if it was like 3 episodes in between an arc, it would have been like, ah, dude, Long Ring Long Land, that's some cozy stuff. But Long Ring Long Land is like that family vacation where it's like 2 days a little bit too long and you start to really hate your family during it, you know? It has really cozy moments, and Luffy's fight with Foxy is actually really funny. Foxy unironically has a busted devil fruit too. People are saying the Aokiji introduction. I will take that into account because technically, yes, it's part of Long Ring Long Land, but I'm more trying to judge it based off of what Long Ring Long Land is. I've heard a lot of arguments that the best part about Long Ring Long Land is low key and just feels good moments it is before everything starts to go kind of crazy and kind of dark, and you know, everything's just, there's like a lot of weight to everything. And I get that argument, but you can have episodes like this but they have to be really, really funny. I think the Zoro Sanji fight is pretty good. It's not funny, it's good. The boat race was tough to watch. It was a tough watch, I won't lie. The roller rink, kind of a tough watch. Where do I put it in accordance with Syrup Village and Whiskey Peak is the thing. He trying to act like he didn't cry. Shut up, man. Is it better than Syrup Village? I'm gonna think about it in the span of what would I rather rewatch, Syrup Village or Long Ring Long Land? And honestly, I would rather rewatch Long Ring Long Land. Therefore, it goes off of okay. As for my favorite part, can I say Aokiji's introduction? No, I won't. Fine. I'll pick up apart from the fight. Hang on. I mean, look how sick he looks.
My goodness. What is that temporary tattoo he has on?
Dude, yeah, see, the afro is cool, but they did not have to do this tattoo. The tattoo adds even more, bro. Look how sick that tattoo is. Look how sick that is. What's next? Thriller Bark. All right, guys, let's break Thriller Bark down. Let's take our time and let's break Thriller Bark down. I got a lot to say about this goddamn arc, all right? I got a lot to say. This is the first time we have Sunny, right? We get to see like what all Sunny has. Thriller Bark. Spooky Island. Spooky place. Haunted castle. What a sick setting. What a cool setting, bro, okay? You get the goofiness of the ghosts and goblins and stuff. Perfect to watch during Halloween. Not to mention the fact that once we get here, a warlord that's just hiding out here, that's just chilling, and no regular warlord. This is the best warlord. Gecko Gangster Moria. Gecko Moria is the funniest character in One Piece, and you can't change my mind. Buddy does not care about anybody but himself. Luffy goes up to him, and he sits there with his arms behind his back and kicks his little footsies out because he does not give a damn about who's in his house. He doesn't care. Gecko Moria is an awesome warlord, a funny character, hilarious character. We get to see all of the Straw Hats really work together for the first time in a long time, and with the addition of Frankie now. The final fight is insane against Gecko Moria, and then Kuma rolls up, and that is even more insane. Like two really good back-to-back fights. And then Brook's backstory, which I think is the most hard-hitting backstory in the entire show. Brook's backstory is the one that made me cry the hardest by far, because bro was literally alone for years and years and years and years and years after watching all of his friends die. There is not much at all that I can say poorly about Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark is really good. I would say literally the only two downsides are, no, it's just Absalom, I think. I think Absalom's just kind of annoying. Doesn't use his power like as strong as he could. And yeah. Thriller Bark is going basically the top of S tier. And you cannot ever, ever, ever change my mind on that. Not a single person. My favorite moment in Thriller Bark. Honestly, I could pick something from Brook's backstory, but I don't think there's one single moment in Brook's backstory that is my favorite. So I'm gonna pick my favorite from the arc itself that I don't think many people remember, but for some reason is like still in my brain. And it's when Luffy is fighting Gecko Moria.
Oh my God!
This is your baptism? Tell me one villain line that goes as hard as "this is your baptism," bro. Thriller Bark is peak. Nobody can ever change my mind. Nobody ever will change my mind. Let's move on. Next arc. Enies Lobby. I'm ranking Enies Lobby and Water 7 separately. Since I feel like most people take them separately. Most people consider them separate. Once again, one of the best backstories in One Piece is Robin's. Luffy fighting Lucci, the end of Going Merry is part of Enies Lobby. Second gear, third gear. Enies Lobby in retrospect has so much. Now, I'll get to this whenever we find it, but Water 7 walked so that Enies Lobby could run. I did do post Enies Lobby separate since most people consider them separate. I would say the only downside to Enies Lobby, and I think you guys can agree, is how long the fights against CP9 take. I also think Nami's fight with Khalifa, not the best. But also, I think it's the framing of that fight. Like, there are so many scenes where Khalifa just stands there and lets Nami do stuff for like 10 minutes. And then she's like, oh my gosh, there's clowns everywhere. How did you do that? When did you do that? Great googly moogly. I would say the only downside of Enies Lobby is the pacing of the CP9 fights. Design of the island, absolutely insane. My jaw dropped when I saw it. The soundtrack, whenever it first shows the island and Frankie's like, what is this horrible place? It's like, oh, it's so sick, man. So sick. Enies Lobby is really good. Like I said, Water 7 walks so Enies Lobby could run. And since there's not many downsides at all, if any, I'm gonna move some around. I'm gonna move Alabasta down one. Sabaody down one. And Enies Lobby will go right below Thriller Peak. Enies Lobby is awesome. Now, a favorite moment from Enies Lobby? Best part of Enies Lobby. Please make it stop. For what? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Now we can continue forward. Next arc. Little Garden. I feel like I didn't enjoy Little Garden as much initially, like some people. I don't know what you guys rank Little Garden, but I'm gonna try to think about it a little bit more. Little Garden is another episode that would have been maybe like a little bit more digestible, like 1 or 2 episodes shorter. Not much at all. It's already pretty short. But like 1 or 2 episodes shorter would have done it justice or done it a favor. I feel like this is one of the arcs I'm most torn on because it's not bad and the Elbaf giants are cool. I feel like this is when Mr. 3 was like the least likable. Mr. 3, as time goes on, especially in all the stuff in Impel Down, Marineford, is more likable. This, I didn't love him as much as of a villain as I did say like Bon Clay at first or the other agents. But maybe that's because there was so much potential with his wax power that it felt like almost too much. So yeah, I feel like this is the weakest that his character ever was, which is fine because he develops over time. But Little Garden is one of those sort of like Whiskey Peak that I just remember. I'm like, that happened. And like, that was okay, I guess. Now, do I see it as better than Whiskey Peak? The giant should have stayed dead. If the giant had stayed dead, true, Pac-Man, it would have been a little bit more impactful. It was sort of like one of the first perpetrators of the whole non-deaths. I would say since Little Garden has some heavier themes with like the giants dueling forever, it's better than Whiskey Peak. So it's gonna go at the bottom of okay. Right here. Favorite moment from Little Garden, when Luffy and them go like, they overestimate how far they need to go and they go flying by. I'm actually kind of excited to watch this moment again. Yes! They all come busting out like heroes. They just go flying. It's the little things for me. Next arc. Reverse Mountain, taking place immediately before Little Garden. Dude, I did not mix these up very well, did I? We get to meet Laboon. We get to meet, what's his name? Who was the doctor on Roger's ship? Was he the doctor? Crocus. He was the doctor, right? I'm already gonna say my best moment of the arc. It's not really its own arc, but I mean, we're ranking it. Best moment by far, I'll spoil it, is Luffy giving Laboon a reason to live and care about like staying there and making him a straw hat inherently. So it's literally just arrival at the Grand Line, Laboon, and then we head off to Whiskey Peak. Reverse Mountain has no downsides though, is the thing. It only does good. I'm going to put it in right here. Right about there. Sort of more near the bottom of thumbs up, but it's still good. It's still good. Favorite moment though from it? Laboon like a purpose? He's giving Laboon a new purpose. Oh my gosh. Oh. Why is that so... Dude, the Laboon crying, bro. That's what does it, man. Next arc. That was an easy one, relatively. Not much going on. Next arc. Oh, this is another because I ran out of ink. Arlong Park. This might get a little spicy. Arlong Park is very good. Everybody knows this. You have the walk to Arlong Park. We learn more about Nami and what happened with Nami and where she came from. We have the pain that Nami has endured this whole time, all her life. Arlong, surprisingly, is not as strong of a villain as I think people say. I think he's a good villain, but he's not crazy. I thought the most surprising part of Arlong Park was how Luffy and Arlong's fight wasn't that spectacular, especially as like Luffy's fight with Don Krieg is more spectacular. I get Luffy like destroys Arlong Park with the axe and everything, but yeah, Luffy kind of rolls him. Like, actually, the walk to Arlong Park is like the first moment in One Piece where guys can keep the spoilers to a minimum. I just made it past the East Blue arc. Bro, what? And also being with like Fishman Island now, like the theme's set out, but I have to sort of judge it alone. And Arlong Park is really good. When I look at these two arcs next to each other, Baratie and Arlong Park, I think I actually enjoyed Baratie a tiny bit more. I'm gonna put Arlong Park at the top of thumbs up. S is like best of the best, but a thumbs up is still a good arc. Okay is still a good arc. The bottom is still good. Now, best moment from Arlong Park. Once another, again, another, I don't even have to think about it. They're waiting for Luffy and all of them to get there. The crew. There they are, baby. Oh, shoot. Bro, you know at this moment, Usopp was like, yeah, I'm not sure about this. Next arc. Ah, the beginning of One Piece. Romance Dawn. Romance Dawn is quite literally the beginning. I actually learned the sort of meaning behind Romance Dawn recently. So Dawn is like the beginning, of course, but it's like the Romance Dawn is the love and the outlook of a pirate, seeing the beginning of this journey and like the infatuation with it. And I actually like that, like the meaning behind that name a lot more now that I know what it means. Yeah, I would say it is also about Shanks, Campbell, and Luffy. That's like the whole purpose. It's the beginning of everything, man. Shanks giving his arm for the new era. It's only the first 4 episodes, I think. And it's Luffy meeting Zoro. It's another one where it's hard to judge because it is very short, but it is still very impactful. Like, it can't possibly have the same overarching themes as, again, like Alabasta. But also, I feel like you have to give it some points because the very beginning of a show or a manga holds a lot of responsibility in wrapping the viewer or reader in. It has to grab you and it has to be like, please keep going, please. There's a lot here. There's a lot to go. Just keep going. And I think it does a pretty good job. I mean, I liked One Piece episode 1. I didn't love it as much as I do now episode 1, but I liked it episode 1, right? So with that being said, I'm going to put Romance Dawn a little bit under Skypiea probably. We'll put it right back. It's sort of like a more monumental version of Reverse Mountain, I would say. Favorite moment from Romance Dawn? Let's revisit it. You're a man. Oh! Oh my god. No big deal. Oh my god. The day Luffy realizes a consequence for his actions. Didn't even realize it. That is intense. Oh. Big moment, man. Now knowing it was hockey, it makes much more sense that he wasn't just intimidating. Next arc. This is our current outlook. We got a pretty wide spread. Bada boom, bada bing. Host in East Lobby. Now, I was going to include this with an East Lobby because I think it's silly that it's separate, but like everybody and their mom ranks this separately for some reason. So we're going to rank this separately. I get the hype behind Post in East Lobby. Ace fighting Blackbeard. You find out about Luffy's family, the Garp reveal, the bounties. You find out about the Emperors, Helmeppo and Kobe returning. There's a lot to like. And a lot of people say it's like S. I wouldn't go that far, especially considering we just got off the heels of Enies Lobby with all the fighting and everything. But it also does things, like I said for Romance Dawn, It does things very efficiently. It does not waste time. I mean, Sunny, technically, you get Sunny. That all happens. That's the biggest compliment I can give to certain One Piece arcs, is whenever it gives you all this information and stuff, but doesn't make it feel rushed, but also doesn't make it feel like you're just sitting on the moment. You get the moment between Aokiji and Robin. A really powerful scene, because I feel like it was the first that we saw like the human side of someone very high up in the Navy, aside from Garp, where you started to realize like, hey, maybe not everybody in the Navy is like just pure evil, trying to like rain hell down. But yeah, Post Denise is really good. It does things efficiently. Is it S tier? I don't think so. I'm gonna put it right under Baratier. Post Denise goes at the bottom of S. Now, favorite moment from Post Denise? The big old reveal.
Fist of Love?
Luffy knows his name? What? Good moment, man. They did do that very well, where he said, like you thought he was gonna say Garp. He's like, oh, you know Garp. Oh, interesting. Whatever. That's crazy, but not that crazy. Wait, what? Oh, he's related to you. Oh, okay, man. Next arc. Amazon Lily. I feel like I look back on this arc with very I actually enjoyed it a lot. The whole fight with Luffy and is it Boa Hancock's sisters? It was like her two sisters. I really liked that fight. It's when Luffy, I think, uses Conqueror's Haki for the first time. It's a great island for multiple reasons. I feel like it's a very cozy island too. Like I would live there, not because like the women thing, but like just a very comfortable island. This is also riding off the heels of Sabaody, so it's hard to compare to Sabaody, especially off of that. And I think it does well still. Like it does very well, especially with the confusion of where the other straw hats are. Where does it go? Where does it go? I'm gonna move Skypia up here. Skypia moves up a spot. Now I'm gonna put Amazon Lily. That's where it's going. That is where it's going. One right below Skypia. Favorite moment from Amazon Lily. This reaction is in the same episode as me like basically crying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, stop. Oh my god, stop. Stop. Sack mushroom. Mushroom. Please don't. Dios mío. It's painful. Please stop. Next arc is Logtown. Logtown is so important, man. It's quite literally the beginning of everything. Best part of the arc by far is Usopp versus Daddy the Sniper, obviously. Like everything else is just okay. Logtown, I think, benefits a lot off the fact that it's a very important place in the lore. The setting combined with the pouring rain just makes it a very cinematic. Dragon in retrospect saving Luffy. You don't know it's Dragon then, but now that kind of adds to it. Like it's one of those where as time goes on more and more, it ages even better, basically. Where you kind of find out more about Roger initially. I need to rewatch Logtown, to be honest. I feel like it has even more meaning now based on where I am in the show, and will continue to as we go on. See, I have to take into account the importance of the area and the arc and what actually happens. You know what I mean? I'm going to move one around. I'm going to move Arlong Park down one. And we're going to put Logtown at the top of thumbs up. I think I like it there. I don't think it's an S. Favorite moment from Logtown? It's the barrel, bro. It has to be the barrel. Maybe in retrospect, Dragon saving Luffy, but the barrel, man. Oh, it was Sanji's idea for the ceremony? All blue, king of the pirates, greatest swordsman in the world. The world map. What's Usopp's? A brave warrior of the sea. Oh. Am I on episode 550 something? Yeah, he's just nowhere near, bro. Bro is still scared of like a worm on the ground. We're down to how many do we have left? We only have 5 left. All right, good, because I'm running out of space. Next arc. Post-war. A lot to break down in post-war. A lot happens in post-war. It's actually pretty long for being a post-arc segment. We get all the Ace, Luffy, Naruto, Sabo backstory. The backstory was really good with Ace, Sabo, Luffy. I feel like it was maybe a tiny bit drawn out for what it was trying to achieve, but I only realized that after I realized I watched 2 anime canon episodes, I think, where it was, I didn't know that, what's his name? The pirate who said he fought Roger. I didn't know that wasn't canon. And that added 2 full episodes, which makes way more sense why it felt kind of long, but just very cozy, super cozy. So we have that. We have big moments like them burying Whitebeard and Ace, the world finding out about everything, kind of chaos, sort of the new beginning of the new pirate era. Everybody's sort of starting their lessons. Luffy saying he needs his friends. He still has his friends. Luffy going back to Marineford. The implications of everything is still very important too. The backstory was done very well. Gives us sort of a breathing point after Marineford. I'm gonna put post-war. I'm gonna move Impel down, up 1, and I'm gonna put post-war right here. Post-war, Impel down, above Jaya, Baratie, Post-Enis. Favorite moment from post-war, and it's actually not posted on YouTube yet, so we'll just watch it together. And then Jinbei's smile. Overrated, in my opinion. Shut your mouth, bro. The next arc. I'm gonna be completely honest. I forgot that this one was in here. Orange Town. I almost cried at Orange Town. The dog, the house that got destroyed, or the shop. That was actually really depressing. Probably one of the most depressing like mini stories in One Piece, like just out of the blue. Orange Town is tough because aside from the dog thing, there's like not a ton of emotional weight to it. It's mostly literally just to introduce Buggy. Actually, that's the entire purpose of Orange Town, I'm pretty sure. And I guess kind of Nami. I didn't like Buggy whenever he was first introduced as much as I do now. I thought when he was first introduced, I was just like, oh, this is like silly first villain that we have to get past. You know what I mean? Aside from Morgan. It's mostly Buggy's introduction. So where would I put Buggy's introduction? I would say Orange Town is not bad. And that's why it's gonna stay out of the lowest category. And I think it's better than Long Ring Long Land. So I'm gonna put it right below Reverse Mountain. As for my favorite moment from Orange Town, probably the dog. Hey, I would not want to piss Captain Buggy off. He looks kind of cool though, I'm not gonna lie. Why was it unlocked? Maybe I should move this down 1 category. Let's move on before I do. Next arc, 3 more. We're down to the final 3. We still have a decent amount of room, I think. Next arc is Water 7. I am ranking this separately from Enies Lobby. I don't think it's completely perfect. I don't. I think Water 7 is the most beautiful island design in the show. I think the only thing that holds Water 7 back is the segment of episodes when part of the cast heads off to Enies Lobby and the others have to deal with Aqua Laguna. Aqua Laguna and all of that took some points off because it did drag it a bit. Because like Luffy gets stuck in between the buildings, Zoro gets stuck in the chimney. I already get annoyed whenever like they use Luffy getting stuck as like a plot device to push things forward. But this was double that. But that's about the extent of my problems with Water 7. We get to find out Frankie's backstory. Frankie has a good backstory. It's not my favorite out of the Straw Hats, but it's still a good backstory. I feel like this was the first arc, aside from Alabasta, where you could start to really feel the weight of the world. Because you knew it was an important island, you knew it was an important shipbuilding island. And then would we consider the train ride to Enies Lobby, would we consider that part of Enies Lobby? Or part of Water 7? Because I felt like those drug on a tiny bit too. And then yeah, Luffy versus Usopp, which is pretty emotional. Very emotionally charged. I cried. I'm pretty sure I cried. Everybody just immediately says peak, but I feel like there's a lot of arcs better than Water 7. I'm thinking. Robin left the crew. Yeah. Okay, I know where I'm gonna put it. We're gonna move Baratie down 1, Jaya down 1, Post-War down 1, and Water 7 is gonna go right here. Yeah, I think I like it there.
Water 7's right around there.
Favorite moment? Oh man, that's hard. And Water 7? Maybe Frankie's reveal, man. I love Frankie. The island reveal. Usopp versus Luffy. I'll say Usopp versus Luffy.
Stop! Everybody stop, please!
Chopper running off to heal him. And he left him the medicine, bro. God. Bro, that moment was so out of nowhere too. Like so heavy out of nowhere. Actual Chopper POV. Second to last. Ah, Drum Island. The birth of Tony Chopper. The existence of Giga Chad Dalton. Dr. Correja. Chopper's backstory. The Snow Bunnies. Walpole. Drum Island. I actually like the design of Drum Island a lot. Like those mountains did not have to look like that, but it was still cool. I can mostly only say positive things about Drum Island, like Chopper's backstory, the design of the island, the weight of everything, Nami being deathly sick. The fight against Walpole is probably the weakest. Walpole is just the weakest, I feel like, villain in One Piece. He holds like near to no weight. He's just annoying. Can't spell Walpole without the W. There's no way there's a Walpole fan in chat right now. He is literally the only thing that holds us back. But how evil Walpole is cannot be overlooked. Bro literally took every doctor for himself and made the citizens fend for him for their own. And that's pretty villainous. And I have to give him points for that. We are going to... I'm going to move Amazon Lily down one. Skypea down one as well. And Drum Island goes right here. Actually, in retrospect, I'm gonna put Drum Island above Arlong Park. People will call me crazy. They're both right next to each other, but I'm putting it above. It is very, very, very high thumbs up. Okay, favorite moment from Drum Island. Bro! Dude, One Piece just does these frames with the white background so well. Okay, final arc. How did I not know I hadn't ranked this yet? How apropos that this is last. Marineford! We're gonna, we'll talk about this arc after I place it. It's like I knew. It's like I had an intuition that something needed to go there. Marineford is virtually peak One Piece. It's the culmination of everything. Gecko Mori is there. It's peak. Going back through Marineford, the more I sit on it, the more I think about it, and it's mostly due to Whitebeard. It's funny because like the arc's focus is Ace, but Whitebeard is like 90% of the reason why I like Marineford, and he's in his like 1v100,000 million people basically. It does it all without all these straw hats that have been built up through all these episodes. Like that's how you know it was done well. Brings people back like Smoker trying to stop Luffy, Mihawk trying to stop Luffy, Akainu fighting Whitebeard. I mean like everybody had a hand to play in it too. Mr. 3, Ace's father reveal, like brother. Crocodile's got some balls, bro. Shanks showing up. Blackbeard showing up. Marineford is One Piece at its best. Garp's inner struggle, for real, Baron, for real. I don't know how you can even pick a moment. McNay is right. I think my favorite moment I'm gonna pick is not one you would think, but maybe you could say the most important moment.
One Piece
He said the thing! It's real! The most important words of all time. It's real. It's real. This is my final pre-time skip arc tier list. What do we think? How did I do? I mean, I would say Whiskey Peak is pretty close to Marineford if you think about it. I think I'm happy. I didn't know if I would know where to put everything, but I'm pretty confident in all my selections and where all the placements are. Thank you for watching. This has been a long process, but I've been looking forward to this for a while. One day, we will do a tier list of every single arc. You're gonna have to give me a while. Peace.